with the agreement of the House now, Deputy Andrew Doyle, to conclude.
Thank you, Lasky and Corla. Once again, thank everybody, and my colleague Deputy Hayden for stepping in at the beginning, and to all the members, and thank them for their kind words. In fairness, our committee has, I think, demonstrated that committees can work in unison, come up and be productive. There's not much point in being up here unless you can be productive genuinely, and I think to commend all the members and thank them for that cooperation through many reports. If you just go back to this report was published in July, as I said, 2013. The cap had been agreed, just agreed. We had started our work before that, but the Pillar 2 and the Rural Development Programme hadn't. And we did it against the backdrop of draft guidelines from departments of Agriculture and Gaeltacht, which we felt would not achieve their intended goal and outcome, which was better commonages in better condition. And we set about coming up with identifying the reasons, the concerns, and coming up with a set of solutions by way of recommendations that would actually achieve that same intended outcome. And I think where we've got to today is, with what we have so far, is an attempt to do that. Much better and much more practical. And if you just look at some of the report recommendations again, first of all, a one-size-fits-all doesn't work. I think we have achieved that insofar as that each individual commonage will be dealt with by a commonage management plan. It's going to be laborious, but rather than having a diktat down from a centralised basic, we have a very minimal payment or a stocking rate for the basic minimum payment. But after that, it's up to each plan and the participants therein to agree it. So I think that's very important. We did say that they should be managed by output-driven schemes. Well, that is an output-driven scheme, and it is being fine-tuned to make it effective and workable for as many people as possible, and be acceptable to Europe. And I suppose it is worth bearing in mind that this submission hasn't, at least to the best of my knowledge, it hasn't been signed off finally by the Commission yet, but hopefully it will. On the Born Life, then, we definitely identified the Born Life as a model of where, first of all, one size doesn't fit all, because under REPS, the requirement to have all stock off the land for the winter, bovines in that case, was actually going to damage the environment, as it became famously aware with regard to the hazel overgrowing on the burn itself. So people reacted to it. So we would say there are plenty of other places around the country, but it does take a bit of work. I've seen that myself, and there are other areas. I know Deputy Hayden is interested in doing something on the Curragh, which is unique in Europe and certainly worth considering. But I caution him that there is a good bit of hard slogging and knocking of heads to get together before you get to that. But in many cases, issues like burning, which have been, and we would say in Wicklow, the deer culling season, and the nature of the way that's managed, are very important. Practical changes that need to be made to make achieving your commonage into good agricultural and environmental condition and beyond that achievable. So I think I welcome what the Minister said at the very end, that if he's open-minded, his intention and the intention of his officials, and certainly the feeling I got last night from the officials in the department who were down in Glendalough, was that they felt it was a two-way street. They took on board some of the concerns, like two of them I've just highlighted here earlier, with regard to terms of lease from national park land and how ineligible land that can be made eligible can actually be included in year one, and others. So, and today's debate, I think, has brought back another couple for consideration into the mixing. So, I'll conclude. I know I've some time. I think Glas. I think maybe one of the things actually we could do as a committee is bring in Joe Healy from the implementation group, following on from this, to just outline his position. I think it would be a good idea as well, and certainly I mean, I think, I don't know anything about Joe Healy. I've met him a couple of times, but I think he's considered to be, objective and fair. He has to be, because the microscope will be on him anyway if he's not. So I think it'll be certainly worthwhile. I think the committee has made its recommendations back, as I said, in July. I would like to think, and I think we can all take some satisfaction in the fact that a lot of the reflection that has happened in the meantime in devising a rural development programme with the Commonage's aspect to it has taken on board much of what we've said. And I'd say in particular, one size doesn't fit all. I think we could not actually have implemented a Commonage plan on a national basis. Every Commonage is different. There's different dynamics. There's different personalities. There's different reasons why they can or can't work, or they need to work and be set up in a certain way. One other thing that did come up, and it was mentioned here earlier, was about planners. Certainly, Teagasc have indicated and they've advertised for planners. They're not going to have enough. But where 3 farmers that are on a Commonage have maybe 2 with Teagasc, 1 with a private planner for EOS, that there's some coming together. And I think maybe it'll be a case where Teagasc, who will subcontract out, if people can agree, would have an assigned planner to them, and make it a little bit simpler. I think it may be just something small, but it's something that could actually hold up getting plans off the ground. And the other thing is that if there is 25 or 30,000 applications accepted next year, that means there'll be more than that submitted. So I think we should try, and I'm not sure if the Minister has any idea about it. For last, this is for a closing date, but practicality would say that mid-year is going to be difficult, and at the same time to get everything processed and approved by the end of the year, so maybe some payments can be made at the end of next year, is going to be a challenge. So I think there's a lot of work to do, and I think we need to first of all get sanction from the Commission, and if there's anything I think the committee can do further along the way with regard to GLOS or the locally led environment schemes, I think the committee members will be more than happy to take that on. So once again, thanks everybody, thank the members, thank you, Last Councillor, for. We were drawn on this almost a year ago, but we were actually on a subcommittee fact-finding mission the same day, so we're delighted that we've had the opportunity now. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy.